YouTube? We're back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check out Come Together from Vice Games. This is for 2 players, ages 18 plus. It'll take you 15 to 30 minutes to play. Before we get into this, I want to give you a very strong warning that we're going to be talking about what some people would deem incredibly inappropriate topics. We're going to be talking about exploring sexual desires in this video. This game is all about exploring your sexual desires in a safe space with your significant other. And if that is not something that you are interested in, then click away from this video right now. But in Come Together, you are going to have 4 fetishes put in front of you, and you are going to pick which of your fetishes you like the best, and also try to predict what your partner is going to say. And really the whole game is about discussing and talking about your sexual fetishes. So let's open it up, and I'll show you how it works. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Come Together. So first and foremost, we got a handy dandy rule little pamphlet. It's 2 small pages, double-sided, no pictures, no illustrations, and it's okay. It definitely could have been a little bit better. I wish they would have clarified exactly how the top and bottom cards work, because I'm pretty sure I understand what they mean by them, but just not quite sure. Either way, it's a really simple game to understand and to learn, even if you do not use the top and bottom cards, which we'll talk a little bit about later. So in Come Together, this is not so much a game, but more of a way of exploring your sexual desires with your partner. And how you're going to do that is by talking about various different fetishes and trying to predict if your loved one is going to like those fetishes, and also trying to pick the fetish that you would like best out of 4 selected. So let's go with the components. Let's get into the gameplay. So the main star of the show are going to be this huge stack of cards right here. These are Come Together cards, and these are going to be a whole bunch of fetishes and sexual things that you might want to try. Clamps and clips, teasing, foot worship, panties on, restraints, these are upside down, fishnets, prostate massages, boots, smoking, crying, ass to mouth, pantyhose, dildos, double penetration, costumes, all sorts of various different sexual things in there. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put 4 of these out during a round like so. The one at the top is going to be 1, the next one is going to be 2, then 3, and 4. So we got phone sex, latex, mutual masturbation, and face fucking right here. So we put these 4 out. Now, each player is going to have 10 cards in front of them. They're going to have 4 guest cards, they're going to have 4 preference cards, and they're going to have a top and bottom card, which really annoyingly has the same back as those cards right there, which means they get lost quite frequently. So now what you're going to do is you are going to pick which one of these 4 you are most interested in sexually. So me personally, I like mutual masturbation, but I think I would definitely go with face fucking. I really like face fucking. I like that whole domination factor, but I always worry about hurting. I've only been with a couple women who really I could just go to town on it, and that just, it got me off so much. So next, we have the guess, where you're going to try to guess what your significant other would like. For me personally, I'm pretty sure my wife would probably pick mutual masturbation. So next, they would pick whichever one, and we go like this, we go like that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to reveal at the same time. So, boom! Oh my gosh, we're both into face fucking, and this is the heart of this game right here. Like, instantly, this person over here is like, oh, what? You're into face fucking? So am I. And then you look at your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend and you say, oh my gosh, you're into face fucking? I've been so ashamed to admit that I just want you to just fuck my face as hard as you possibly can. And this is the beauty of this game right here. I'll talk more about the pros and cons, but these moments right here, and you will have moments like these, hopefully, where you're just like, oh my gosh, I would have never guessed that you were into that. And it's so taboo to talk about things like that. But anywho, then you also guess what your other person said. So we both thought we'd like mutual masturbation. But what happens now is the other 3 cards, the ones that were not picked, or potentially 2 cards, go away. Face fucking stays. You discuss face fucking, for a little bit. And then you do it again. So now we got shaving, humiliation, and blindfolds. So once again, you rinse, wash, and repeat. Now, another thing to mention is that in this particular instance, you might want to use the top or bottom cards, because maybe the other person was talking about fucking your face. So for instance, just shoving your clit in your mouth as fast as humanly possible. which I've never had anyone do, but I guess that is definitely something that happens. So in that case, you might use these top or bottom cards. I'll talk more about these cards and the pros and cons. I kind of wish they would have been giver and receiver. I think that would have been a little bit clearer. But anywho, you once again are going to pick which one of these you like and predict the one that your partner would like. And the way the rules say is, if you ever have 2 matches in a row, so let's just say we both picked face fucking again, then you quit the game and you immediately go do that thing. So like, oh, we both hit on face fucking again. Let's go, let's go fuck your face. Which at this point you might already have a chub because, you're talking with your significant other about sex, which obviously generally gets most people going. But that really is the heart of the game. But I'll just show you some more of these cards because I know you're probably wondering. They cover a large BDSM, biting, cock and ball torture, pantyhose, stripping, scratching, sexual massage, ropes, discipline, hickeys, makeup. I mean, there is tons and tons and tons of these cards in here, which is obviously kind of nice. Actually, I can probably give you the exact number. 142 of those cards. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to be doing inside of Come Together. Alright then, Come Together from Vice Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. Obviously, this is a 2-player game about exploring your sexual desires and fetishes with your friends with benefits, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, what have you. And if that's not a game for you, then this is not going to be a game for you. Now, the next con I have in this game is that this is not a game. It is an activity. There's no winning, there's no losing, there's no keeping track of score, there's no roll the dice. If you get a 6, you spank somebody or anything like that. This is an activity about talking about your sexual desires. So if you're in the market for a game, you're probably going to want to look elsewhere. Now, moving on to the actual components and the cards, I'm not a fan of the top and bottom cards. So first and foremost, we didn't use them too terribly often. I feel like a giver and receiver card would have got a little bit more use, but more to the point, I'm not a fan of the graphic design on these cards because the top and bottom cards look exactly like the fetish cards, which means you're going to get them mixed in with the fetish cards. Then if you want the top and bottom cards, you're going to have to go through the entire deck, and that is annoying. Now, the preference cards are slightly better because while they do look the same, they have the black on them as opposed to the white text. But still, I really wish they would have went with a completely different color, like orange or something. Because, like, look at the guest cards. You're never going to get these mixed up because they're very clearly a different color. So it's a minor nitpick, but I still think it should have been a different color. Now, there's 140 fetishes in here. Now, I'm a very explorative person sexually, but I still had some instances where I was like, wait, what's this? What's that? And my wife had that a lot more frequently as well, which means we had to then research it, Google it, and I wish there was a brief explanation about what each of the fetishes was on the cards. That way you would not have to go to a tablet or a computer or a phone and research what these different things are. But that is fun kind of researching, but still I think it would have been a little bit easier if it was on the cards itself, maybe in smaller text. Any other cons I have with it? No. Because I want to clarify, everything that I told you on the con side is a nitpick. If Come Together sounds like something you might be interested in, get this game. Get this. Absolutely. Slap a Bauer's Best Seal on it. This is an absolutely amazing idea. And if you want to have better sex with your significant other, and you want to explore your sexuality with your significant other, and talk about it with your significant other, then I wholeheartedly recommend this game. I cannot recommend this game enough. Me and my wife played this 3 times, and we learned new things sexually about each other, and we experimented with those new things, and that's fantastic. Me and my wife have been together for 5 or 6 years now, maybe even longer. I actually should probably remember that. And we learned new things sexually about each other, and that's exactly what this game is designed for, and it does it in a quick, clean, easy way. And each time you play this game, it's most likely going to end up with you and your partner having sex, which obviously you can't say that about too many other games. I love me some Ticket to Ride, I love me some Twilight Imperium, but every time I get those games out, they don't normally end in sex, and Come Together does. And I'm a very liberal person when it comes to sex. I feel like we should be talking about sex more because sex is a natural part of life, and everybody enjoys having sex for the most part. And everybody wants to have better sex for the most part. But too often we're scared to talk about the topic, even with the person we've devoted our life to, in my personal instance. So I love the fact that this game allows us to talk about these taboo topics. And I'll give you a perfect example. I'm a very open and honest person about my sexuality and how much I enjoy sex and different things I like to try with my wife and various different stuff like that. My wife is not the same way. She was just not raised that way. Not to say that's the wrong way or the right way, but she was not raised that way. And there were instances in this game where you could tell she was slightly uncomfortable picking the answer that she actually wanted to pick, because it just is, for some people, uncomfortable to talk about these topics. But the way the game works, it makes it a lot easier to talk about these topics. So I'll give you an example. So let's say we got domination, we got masks, we have leashes, and we have double penetration. And let's just say that my wife, she doesn't, but let's say she's always had a thing where she wants to completely dominate someone. Like, that is something that she's always wanted to do. But it's really hard to talk about that. But here's the thing. When the other choices are double penetration, wearing a leash, putting on a ball gag and a mask, then talking about domination is a lot more acceptable. And that's what this game does so beautifully. And in the end, Come Together is absolutely fantastic. If you cannot tell, I mean, I gave it a Bauer's Best seal, despite the fact that it's not actually a game. That's how much I like this. I will have this game forever. I will recommend this game to people who have healthy sex lives, to people who do not have healthy sex lives. It is a fantastic activity. It needs to be in every marriage counselor's office on the planet, and it's just, I can't say good enough things about it. Come Together from Vice Games. Absolutely must own if you were in a sexual relationship, in my personal opinion. So that is Come Together from Vice Games. One, definitely not probably what you were expecting, but absolutely outstanding. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Let's get 4 of these. Let's get 5 of them. And you pick which one you like better. Degradation, ass to mouth, panty sniffing, socks, or BDSM. None of these 5 are particularly that appealing to me, so I guess I would go with the BDSM. I've done that before, and I enjoyed that, but it's definitely not on my regular to-do list. But let me know in the comments below, which of those 5 would you be most interested in? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.